All right, IED, this is project 1.3.7, Design a Protective Case. We're going to be focusing on this video on the second part of our project, which is going to be generating concepts. Hopefully you have done the define the problem first, and then you're moving on. Now that you have a clear idea of what the project actually is, now you can go through and say, okay, now I'm actually ready to start making some ideas for what this project is going to be like and what I'm going to be making for it. So we're going to go down here to the generating concepts. So it says, now, if you're digital, you're going to be doing this by yourself. I'm sorry, that's just the way that it is. You can pick one of the two, either the lid or the case part. You don't have to do both at the same time. But for everybody that's in class, here's what we're going to do. With your partner, review the multi-view drawings of the competitor's protective case parts. You will use the same basic box shape design for your protective case. However, the competitor's case was designed for a relatively large pair of earbuds, and we have a couple of multi-view drawings that we've gotten, and we're going to just take a sneak peek at those and see what we've got. I'm going to look at this multi-view drawing, and I think, let's see here, it should load up automatically. My potato is usually very, very slow at doing its thing. Here we go. That was actually faster than I thought. So we have a protective case that looks like we have a slot in the front. This is just the bottom section. This isn't the lid. I can see that there's a hinge right here at this location. There's also some vent holes on the side, but I can see this is actually pretty tall. Yeah, and I also noticed that something for the earbuds is there's nothing really inside to be able to hold the earbuds in place. So that's an improvement on the design that we could totally make with a little bit of our CAD knowledge that we've already learned how to do. Is we could actually support these in place because I don't know. I'm looking at this case and I see that if you take it and you rattle it around, then it should be able to, it's probably going to damage it even more. But then again, it's large, so if it's got wires on it, you could actually hold the wires or house the wires in there. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the big part actually makes a difference. And we'll get the other one, the top multi-view drawing. This is for the lid. Okay, so all our dimensions are in millimeters. Let's see here. There is the lid with a clasp on it. So now we see what that front hole was at the very beginning because this clasp is going to actually click into that hole right here and it's going to secure it in place. The hinge is going to be just a circle, and then we're going to take a dowel rod, it looks like, and we're going to insert the dowel rod in between the two so that we have a working hinge. Let's see here. Other than that, this looks pretty straightforward. I think it just looks like a rectangle, and we'll have this little hook thing right here. I think this is going to be the toughest part of it. But I think it gives us all the particulars. And there's also a detailed view of two objects. We've got a detailed view for A of the hinge, which it gives us extra dimensions, thank goodness. And it also gives us a detailed view of B, which gives us a radius value down here. These dimensions don't clutter this area up here, so I think that was actually a really good idea for them to do, and I appreciate them doing it. So this is the general idea of what the earbud case is going to look like. So now we're going to generate concepts and we're going to think about what are we going to do for the overall dimensions of our box that will better accommodate the client's earbud model. If you don't want to do earbuds, because I know a lot of people don't have earbuds, just pick something that's really a common consumer product. Like I said, I really think I'm going to do flash drive for it because I don't have anything that holds a bunch of flash drives, and that would actually be a good idea for me to do. So that at this point, um, the brainstorming session should begin. So what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to come up with as many ideas as you can with your partner, and you should develop tons of ideas. Don't forget with the brainstorming session, you don't actually judge or evaluate your ideas that come into play. Your ideas can be ridiculous. You know, you're basically trying to force your mind to come up with different concepts as you try to go through this uh, creative process. And if you just look at the, if you just say that, oh, I'm just going to make it this way, you've only gone through one possibility. And if you've only gone through one possibility, you're limiting your ability to make an innovative product. So make sure that you actually have a large amount of ideas at the very beginning, and at that point you'll want to kind of create some concept sketches from those ideas. Okay, so you'll want to develop at least 3 concept sketches showing different overall dimensions of the box that will better accommodate your client's earbud model. And it says keep in mind Occam's razor. And Occam's razor comes up in engineering a whole lot. It is a problem solving principle that basically says the simplest solution is often the best solution, which means that if you're adding unnecessary parts to the object, that's just more opportunities for your design to go wrong or fail. So, in sometimes they call this the law of economy because we're talking about like how much effort are you actually putting into it. Like if you're putting in like a whole bunch of effort making things overly complicated, it's likely not going to be the best solution. Often the simplest idea is the one that, for several different reasons, comes out to be the best solution. So keep that in mind whenever you're making your concept sketches. And what you're going to do afterwards is you're going to select and justify a solution path, which means once you have your concept sketches, y'all are going to decide what path you're actually going to take. Like which concept sketch are we going to use, and why are we going this route? Why are we making what we're making? Because you have to have some kind of justification for why this one. You can't just be like, I like this concept sketch because it looks good. Be like, well, what does good mean? Like, we have a specific purpose here. We're trying to hold something. So, why does that one actually do the best on it? So, what you want to do is you want to design or create a decision matrix. And what a decision matrix is it will basically just write out let's see here, I think this actually gives you a good idea one. Yeah, you take your ideas that you have and you put some things that you want to be able to judge your design by up on the columns up here. So in the case of our case, in the case of our case, yeah, in the case of our protective case, we're using the like maybe you should put like the cost in there. Or the complexity, like how complex is it? And you want to score things based on, and make sure you've got a scale down here. It looks like these are going best to worst. So I'm going to guess that on complexity, best is going to be that it's a very simple idea, and the worst is going to be that it's probably the most complex idea. Okay, so you're scoring 4 as a high number and 1 as a low number, and you count them all up after you judge and evaluate them, and the one with the highest score is the one that you go with. That takes your personal bias out of the decision making process because everybody wants to do their design. Whenever you first start off with it and you ask people to take a vote and you say, well, which design do you want to do? Most of the people are like, I want to do mine. Because usually you have some emotional investment in that idea. That's just human behavior. That's what we are as human beings. So if you use a decision matrix, what will happen is you end up taking your emotions out of it and you end up judging something based on the best criteria that fits, not necessarily whether you like it or not. And that helps you to make a better product over time. So, a decision matrix is a great way to show me that you have gone through the decision making process and you've said, okay, I know that this is the best one to do, and I'm going to use that one. Okay, so ultimately, between all of these things that I talked about, this is what you're going to need for the generating concepts. You're going to need to come up with concept sketches to have some ideas, and then you're going to use a decision matrix to show me that you've actually picked one, and that is the one that you're going to end up doing. Okay, and that's what we're going to use for generating concepts. Have a great day, and we'll talk later.